stuff on my face. I got coffee at a new place and I don't like it, but I'm gonna drink it anyway because, yeah. Hey, what's up you guys? So today I am back and I wanted to kick off 2020 with basically all of the things that I loved in 2019 because I was gone for the majority of 2019. Sorry. So I thought, what better way to get my channel back on track than to go over everything that I haven't really talked about on the channel, but I have just loved so much. Now, I think there are a few products in here that I may have mentioned in either my skincare routine or what have you, but overall, 2019 was like a really, really good year for skincare for me. I really took time to educate myself and to consult different, estheticians and really like understand my skin and learn a lot about ingredients and the skincare industry as a whole. It's something that I've just become so passionate about, and I feel like, going back to high school or, middle school, whatever, I was just one of those people who didn't know very much about skin types or skincare, and I would just buy things marketed for, acne prone skin or, whatever it was. And I thought that it would be like, oh, it says it's going to cure my acne, it's going to be the cure all. And I didn't understand how important a skincare routine was and, how different ingredients really work with the skin and how many different kinds of acne there can be. You can break out from having oily skin, but you can also break out from getting too dry, and there's fungal acne and hormonal acne and all different kinds of things, which is probably a whole other separate video. But I have all of this to say, I have really researched these products and the ingredients in them and learned enough about skincare to say that definitively I think every single product that I'm going to mention would work for every skin type. And that was really important for me in this video because I wanted to not only include things that I thought were really great, but I think that are also very inclusive. So whether you have super oily skin, dry skin, anything in between, I really think over all these products are going to work for you. And I'm going to insert a photo in here, but my skin used to always break out a lot, and I still get breakouts every now and again. It's just, it's just the way my skin is. Like, for example, I had 2 nights where I had 2 drinks in a row, 2 drinks one night and 2 drinks the next night, and I get a breakout in my eyebrow, which happens to me every time I drink like more than a couple drinks or more than a few days in a row, because it's actually like, if you look up Chinese face mapping or even like dermatologists' opinions on like what the location of the pimple could like correlate to in the body, this is liver. So I kind of screwed myself there. But overall, my skin has just become so much stronger, more even. The texture is better. It just has more life to it. It looks more, bright and even and bouncy and plump and clear for the most part. And so, I'm just so happy with the overall health of my skin. And so I wanted to share with you guys what I think really, really works. So let's jump in. But before we do, please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. So yeah, let's get going. Alright, so I have a mixture of natural products and kind of more like medical or like your typical skincare products, but this is one of the more natural ones, and this is Egyptian Magic. I don't know why I said it like that, Egyptian Magic. And basically this product has this really, I just got a new one actually because I ran out of my old one, but I'm going to show you guys. It has this like really thick kind of balmy waxy texture, and then when you take it in your hand, and then when you rub it together, it turns into like this oil. This is like an all-purpose skin product, and basically there's very minimal ingredients in it. It's olive oil, beeswax, honey, bee pollen, propolis, and royal jelly. So obviously basically all the properties of, the things that bees do to make honey, plus olive oil, basically. But what this, I mean, you can use this for so many different things because it's very hydrating, but it's also extremely antibacterial, antimicrobial. So what I love to use this for is a pimple, which sounds super counterintuitive because I think that typically when you have a pimple, especially with the products that are out there, you know, marketed for acne, your instinct is to dry out the infection. And that works great if you have a popped pimple, if you have an open comedome, an open pore. You can put on something like salicylic acid or benzoyl peroxide or whatever, and it'll kind of, you know, it'll dry it out. But if you have a closed comedome, a closed pimple, and it's not popped, what you're doing when you put those products on is you're just drying out the surface layer of your skin. You're drying out the moisture barrier of your skin. And that is the area that is, you know, it's also called like the lipid barrier. It's the area of the skin that protects your skin from bacteria, dirt, you know, pollution, toxins, oxidative damage, all those kinds of things. It protects your skin and keeps it from being vulnerable to infections. So when you're drying out that surface layer, you're really not doing yourself any favors in terms of a closed pimple. And obviously, you know, everyone will tell you not to pop your pimples. So if you see a pimple come up, I like to use this as a spot treatment on my pimples. And I do notice, I use it at night because it has a kind of greasy texture, I'm gonna be honest. I don't like notice it feeling really icky on my skin when I, you know, put it on at night or whatever. However, I could see, if you're not used to using those kind of products, how it might feel a little off at first. But I'm telling you, this stuff gets in there, and because it's so antibacterial, it really helps clear the infection from the inside. And it's just a really great product. I know a lot of people use it for, you know, eczema and, you know, all different kinds of skin issues. It's also great if you're just super, super dry. But I'm just a massive fan of this. I think it's a really amazing kind of secret product. I know you can get it at most Whole Foods. I did purchase it once on Amazon and that worked out fine for me. However, I do know that sometimes people feel like buying from Amazon can be a little risky because you might not actually be getting the legitimate product. But either way, for this large size, this will last me until it expires in 2022. So it's not really that expensive. You can get a much smaller size if you just want to use it for spot treatments. Sometimes I'll use it all over the face if I just really need an extra dose of hydration, or if I'm kind of just noticing like little kind of like tiny congested pores and stuff like that. Sorry if you hear traffic outside because I'm hearing people knock and it's New York. And who's calling me? Oh, my mom. Anyways, basically everything will be linked on my blog. So if you want more in-depth information on the ingredients and stuff, I do have a blog post written about everything that you see here, as well as links to shop. If you just click on the name of the product at the, you know, in each section, it'll take you to a reputable place to buy it. So just bear that in mind. If you're wanting to hunt these down, you can do it that way. All right, so the next product we're going to talk about is the Lineage Lip Sleeping Mask. I love this product so much. It has truly been saving me being in New York and kind of switching into this really cold climate. We've had some really cold days, it snowed, and like with the heaters and everything, it's just everything has been getting so dry. Like my lips have gotten so crusty and it's not a cute look. And so this product is just amazing, and I've had this for a year and used it on my lips pretty much every night, sometimes throughout the day if I just need like a little extra. And as you can see, I've barely even made a dent in this. So even though it is $20, it'll last you so long. It's just such a good product. nothing keeps my lips as hydrated as this does. And you can, you know, if you suffer from dry lips, or, you know, you just want something to give your lips that extra like plump hydration, so when you wake up in the morning, you know, you have less lines and they're really like plump and full, this will do it for you. And you can just goop it on like real heavy, and when you wake up you'll still have like product on your lips. It's just so good. And so even though it seems kind of bougie to have like a $20 lip balm, it's so good. And also, if you have like lip product on your lips and you just want like a little extra hydration in the winter, you can just take a little on top of your, you know, current like lip, you know, lipstick, lip product, whatever you have on, and it gives you just like a nice little extra gloss. It's just so good. I don't even know what else to say about it. I will say though, if you are noticing you have like extremely cracked lips, and you're getting like cracks on the sides, it could indicate a vitamin deficiency, and I'm totally blanking right now on which vitamin that is, but that was the case for my mom, and I told her about it, and she started taking a supplement of that vitamin, and it stopped within like a week. But if it's just environmental, this is the one. So moving right along, I have used and loved a lot of different moisturizers. There's so many that are really, really great, but this is one that I have repurchased over and over and over again, because it's such a great product. It's one of Sephora's clean certified products, so it's free of a lot of parabens and toxins and different things that you might find in some other brands that, you know, can irritate the skin, or maybe you just don't want getting into your body. And this is just one that, even though it is more, you know, clean or natural, it works. It works so well, and I think it's great for all skin types. I could see how maybe it might be a touch too rich for a really, really oily skin like in the summer. But generally, I mean, I feel like this would work for anyone, because I do have combination skin and I do get oily, and I don't find this to be greasy at all. And anyways, it is the Biossance Squalane and Omega Repair Cream. I think I've bought like 4 of these. They do last me for a long time. But I use this every night, sometimes during the day if I need a little extra oomph. But basically, this line in general is just so good, because it all is based around squalane oil. Is it squalane or squalane? I don't really know. I think I say both, and I'm not really sure. Either way, so if you know, leave a comment and let me know what the correct pronunciation is, because I've heard it other ways, and just, yeah, I don't know, but it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean. Anyways, this product is so good because this particular oil is a skincare ingredient that I am obsessed with and love, and anytime I see it in a product, I'm like, I bet that's good, because this particular oil is probably, I think it's the smallest or one of the smallest like oil molecules, so it's never ever going to clog your pores, because the molecule is smaller than your pore, which means that it's going to really sink in. It's not greasy, but it gives you this intense hydration and nourishment without leaving your skin feeling heavy or oily. And it typically comes from olives. Olive oil, they take it from that, the squalane. However, I know sometimes it can be from, I think like shark fin. So just be aware of the sourcing if you want to make sure that it's, you're buying products that are sustainable. If you're getting something with squalane oil, this, I believe they actually do it from sugarcane. So it's very sustainable. It's, vegan friendly, cruelty free, all that kind of stuff. But basically, because it is such a great oil, it is actually the most similar to the oils that our skin naturally produces. It's really good for repairing the moisture barrier of your skin and just keeping your skin, hydrated and safe. And the thing about hydration is that it's not just about like reducing your oils or, whatever. It really, keeping your skin in a state of balance, which includes keeping it adequately hydrated, is going to, in the long run, prevent you from breaking out and prevent you from aging as quickly and all those kinds of things. So having a good moisturizer in your routine, whether you have dry skin, oily skin, or anything in between, is just so important. And I think this is just one of the best. It just sinks into the skin so beautifully and it feels so nice, and it doesn't have any fragrance. As you guys can see, I use it a lot. Fragrance is just one of those things that I try to avoid if I can. Not everything in this list is fragrance free. A few of the things do have fragrance, but it is just good to keep in mind that one of the kind of loopholes in the skincare industry is that if a product has fragrance in it, they can hide any ingredients in it and not disclose that information. So at least when you know that something is fragrance free, that you're getting all the information in the ingredients list and that they're not hiding anything. Obviously, like, not to be a conspiracy theorist or paranoid or anything like that, but I just think it is nice to have that brand transparency, and fragrance is one of those things that isn't really necessary in skincare. So, you know, I would love for my skincare to become as clean and, you know, non-toxic and all that kind of stuff as possible. And I have been slowly making switches to certain products that I think are just as good as or better than products that do have fragrance. So I think it's just a balance. I don't think that, like, I'll ever be one of those people that's like, I'm never going to use that because it's not, maybe I will, who knows. But I just think that there are, you know, if you can find products that are really, really amazing, that happen to be clean products, then why not? But yeah, I highly recommend this moisturizer, especially in the winter. It's just a savior, and it's just so good. And I think it really has, you know, it really has contributed to where my skin is at today. So I'm just a huge fan, and I can't recommend it enough. So I think one of the things that was really lacking in my skincare routine was exfoliation. And if you guys are not super familiar, there's physical exfoliants and chemical exfoliants. So physical exfoliants would be anything like a Clarisonic, a scrub, anything that's actually physically going in and exfoliating the surface layer of the skin. I find that physical exfoliants can be a little more risky, just because you can accidentally push, you know, little tiny bits of leftover makeup or dirt or what have you into the skin. It can also create micro tears in the skin. And so while they do serve a purpose and they can be really great, I tend to avoid them. I just don't really like them. And I don't feel like they make as dramatic of a difference. It's one of those things where I feel like the risk just doesn't outweigh the reward. Do you know what I mean? So this is a product that I added in this year, and I purchased this particular product simply because I was looking for something that was similar to the Dr. Dennis Gross Alpha Beta Peel Pads, because I know those are so highly rated and so loved, and I have friends who use them and love them. But for me, I find that beta hydroxy acids, BHAs, do not work well with my skin. There's only two of them. Or at least that I'm aware of. It's salicylic acid and sometimes certain forms of citric acid. Citric can also be an AHA, but whatever. Basically, BHAs are oil-loving exfoliants, oil-loving molecules. AHAs, alpha hydroxy acids, are water-loving molecules, basically, or water-loving exfoliants. I'm probably using the term wrong, but they're the water ones, whatever. And basically, BHAs are great for really oily skin. I have combination skin, so what I find is that when I use things like salicylic acid, it just strips my skin and it makes me break out like crazy, and it just doesn't work for me, no matter how long I wait through the whole purging process, and I keep thinking it's going to get better, and my skin gets inflamed, and it just doesn't work out for me. If you're someone who suffers with acne and you've tried those kinds of products and they haven't really helped you, you might be like me. I feel like salicylic acid is great for people who have super oily skin all over, or maybe just kind of like that teenage acne that's from like excess oil production or whatever. That might be the case, but I feel like if that was really like the magic cure-all of acne, then like everyone would be on like Clean and Clear or Proactive, and their skin would be perfect. So if that's you, then, I mean, I don't even know why you're here, but but anyway, so I was looking for the Dr. Dennis Gross Alpha Beta Peel Pads without the BHAs, and I actually really happen to love the CO Skin Health line anyway, because Dr. Obagi is just a very well respected, you know, dermatologist and formulator. He's been doing this for like 35 years, and his products are just really good. And these ones happen to only have AHAs. AHAs are good for all skin types for chemical exfoliation. So they're just little pads, and I've had this for months and months and months, and I use them about every other night, and I'm almost about to run out. So you get 60 pads in one thing, and I think it's around like $51, I think. But they're so worth it. They're more affordable than the Dr. Dennis Gross ones, and I feel like they're just a safer alternative, because I feel like you're not risking irritating your skin with these as much as you could with the alpha beta ones from Dr. Dennis Gross. I mean, if those work for you, by all means stick with them. I'm scared to risk it with the salicylic acid. It doesn't work for me. It's too much. I've literally like done like the Glam Glow mud mask, or like different things, or even the Sunday Riley, that green oil that has all the salicylic acid in it. I've used those like here and there and tried something, and then had a facial later, and my facialist is like, "What did you do? Your moisture barrier stripped. What did you do?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm oil cleansing, and I'm using, you know, all these heavy moisturizers and different stuff, and it doesn't counteract it for me. Like, it's just not good enough." And they're like, "Okay, maybe your vitamin C, like, I don't know." And I was like, "Oh wait, I did that mask." And they're like, "Yeah, it just doesn't work for me." So anyways, that's my justification for you. But basically, I'll put these on every other night, wipe them in like just one. You could even stretch it honestly and cut it in half, but I'll just kind of like take it down my neck and stuff too. But it also has kind of like a texture to it, so I feel like it kind of is like, for some reason, I don't know if it actually makes a difference, but I do feel like it kind of like gets into my pores a little bit better with that extra bit of texture on the pads, because it kind of has like a little bit of a physical exfoliation kind of a feel. But when I started using these, I immediately noticed a massive difference in just the overall brightness and tone, and my skin just looked less dull. It looked more even, and as I've continued to use them, it's just made it get better and better and better. And they're also really, just because you're exfoliating, it's, you know, helping you prevent breakouts, because there's not a bunch of dead skin blocking your pores and causing, you know, blockages that could create pimples. But I'm just such a huge fan of these. They're so good. Exfoliation is so important for the skin. I've heard, you know, different dermatologists and facialists and estheticians have told me how important it is, not only for preventing breakouts, but also for just anti-aging and, you know, encouraging collagen production and all those different kinds of things. So these are just so wonderful, and I love them. I love them, and I can't be without them. All right, so this is the most expensive product I'm going to talk about. I almost feel guilty like bringing this into it, because I can't even fully explain why it's so good, because I really don't understand the magic that is in this, the science that is in this. I've looked it up on the website. I'm like, what, like, is it a, you know, because, you know, like, oh, it's vitamin C, it's a vitamin C product, or it's the niacinamide in it, or blah, 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 whatever. I don't even know what the magic is in this, but basically, this is called the ZO Skin Health Daily Power Defense. I use this every single morning. It's supposed to help prevent, you know, oxidative damage to the skin, and just basically encourage overall skin health. I think there might be a teeny tiny bit of retinol in this, if I'm not mistaken, but it doesn't even say that on the website. But I feel like it was recommended to me when I got a facial, and so I bought it, and I feel like it said that in the pamphlet, but I don't even know where the pamphlet is because I moved. So, but I'm telling you, this is a ride or die product for me. I will go poor to buy this product, because there is something about it that just, I feel like this is the magic ingredient that my skincare routine was really, really missing. when I started using this, I immediately noticed that my skin just looked so much healthier. And I'm so in love with it. This is the third one that I've purchased. And after I used the first bottle, I kind of waited for a minute because I was like, I don't know if I really need this. Like, and it is kind of expensive, so, you know, whatever. After like 2 or 3 weeks, I was noticing how dull and crappy my skin was looking, and I was like, I can't go without it. It's just so good. I mean, I'm at a loss for words. On the website it says overall skin health, and that's truly what it does. It just brings it all together. I don't know, but I feel like it's doing miraculous things, and it's protecting my skin during the day. It's not like an SPF, but it helps with kind of like the different, like oxidative damage comes from, you know, the different kind of radioactive stuff in the air that can basically go in and damage your cells. And as the cells kind of mutate and stuff, that's what can lead to loss in collagen and wrinkles and, you know, lack of like fullness in the face and what have you. And so that helps. This helps with that. It's in their anti-aging line, and it's great for people of, they say, all ages. So if you're in your, you know, late teens, early 20s, or, you know, even beyond that, this is essential in my mind. Now that I've tried it, I can't go back. I can't not have it in my routine. It's just too good, and I love it. So this is a product I've mentioned on here before, but I had to bring it up again because this is just such a good, diverse product. So this is the Peter Thomas Roth Firmex peeling gel, and it is an exfoliant, but it's kind of like a physical exfoliant and a chemical exfoliant hybrid, like rolled into one, because it's this gel consistency, and when you put it onto clean, dry skin and you massage it in, all of the dead skin cells roll off of the skin. Like, they just start pilling up and rolling away. And I can tell you it's not the product, because if I have, like, you know, when you get like a pimple and, you know, it kind of gets, if you've popped it, I don't encourage this, but I have popped my pimples, you know, it happens. But so you have like a pimple that's healing and it's gotten kind of crusty around the edges and flaky, or you notice that your makeup's not laying as nicely and your skin texture's kind of off. I can see that flaky pimple roll away. Like, it really does take off all the dead skin cells, but it seems to only take off what is like ready to go and leaves whatever is not ready to go. Because I've never used it and been like, oh, I took off too much, or it, you know, it only does what needs to be done. And I don't know how it works, but it is so good. And I also love to use this if I'm going to do a face mask, because then I can I'll go in with this first and I'll make sure that all the dead skin is kind of off and my face is really fresh. So then the mask can like really, you know, get into my pores and really work at maximum level, you know, effectiveness. And it's just so good. I also like once got super glue on my fingers because I was doing like those press-on nails, because I was really into that for a minute. I still really like them. There's actually some really good ones out there now. If you hate going to the salon, it's a good option, I'm just saying. But I did get like super glue on my finger, and I used this and I like rubbed it together and the glue came off. The glue came off. Like, it really, it's just a magical product. And even though it's kind of gross if it freaks you out to see like your skin like pilling up like that, it's kind of weird, but also oddly satisfying. It's kind of nice, and I'll notice if I haven't used it for a while, I have like a ton of dead skin leave, and if I have been using it like, you know, a couple times a week, not as much comes off. So it, you know, it's just a really good product to have on hand. You can also like leave it on for like 5 minutes if you kind of want it to get in there and sort of work. But I love that this takes off that dead surface layer without having to tug at the skin or, you know, create any micro tears. It works in such a gentle way, yet so much more effectively than like a scrub would, and you can really see the difference afterwards. It's just such a good product, and I never hear people talk about it, but I did go to Sephora once and the guy was like, oh yeah, I use it for skincare masks like too. And excuse me. I was talking to the guy at the Sephora in Soho, and I was telling him, I was like, I always like to use it before a mask. And he confirmed, he was like, oh yeah, I love to do that too. It's such a great way to make sure that your mask really works. So, you know, it's just so good. And if you guys haven't tried this, I highly recommend. It's just a great product to have on your shelf, especially if you're trying to, you know, get more into exfoliation, but you're scared of overdoing it. Like, this is a great product. All right, I've rambled on for quite a while, but I want to wrap it up with one more product, and this is one that I have repurchased over and over again. It's a mask, and I just wanted to include it because it really is a mask that I feel like actually makes a huge difference, and I can see it the next morning in my skin. And it is the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Sleeping Mask. This is just like the mini because for some reason, I just don't do a lot of masks that often, and so I'm kind of like, I don't know why, I just get kind of scared about buying like a full one, because I have purchased like really expensive masks from like, you know, Tata Harper or Drunk Elephant or just so many brands, and I don't finish them, and then like it's been like 2 years and I'm like, they have to be expired by now. So I don't like to buy like a full size unless I know I love it and I'm going to use it, and I will probably buy a full size of this one because I do love it so much. So this is filled with hyaluronic acid, which is an amazing moisturizing, hydrating product. It basically like helps all the water molecules like cling to it, so it hydrates your skin in a very different way than like the Biossance and one with the squalane does. But it's such a great ingredient, and I find that whether you have like really dry skin or really oily skin, they all seem to really love hyaluronic acid. It's just such a great moisturizer. This is a sleeping mask, so I will use it as like the last step in my skincare routine. You want to make sure that you apply it after, you know, your moisturizer and everything else has really sunken into the skin, although I feel like it is so hydrating that you could almost skip your typical nighttime moisturizer and just use this instead. But it also has alpha hydroxy acids in it, so it's in such a light dosage that they actually say you could use this every single night, and it's not going to irritate your skin, but it does really lightly exfoliate the skin and leave it glowing in the morning. Like when you wake up, your skin just looks like plump and juicy and fresh, and it's just such a good mask. And I feel like a lot of people have hyped up other masks like the Summer Fridays one, the jet lag mask, or, you know, there's so many out there, but I just feel like this one is really, really special, and I love that it has the exfoliants in it, and I don't find it to be irritating at all. It feels very cool on the skin. It's just such a good mask. I feel like so many people would like it. The only thing is it does smell like a watermelon Jolly Rancher. It's not like insanely strong, but it's definitely there. So like if you find that your skin gets very irritated from fragrance, this might not be for you. But it is a very pleasant scent, and I actually really enjoy it. So it doesn't deter me from the product at all. But it is kind of just something to kind of, you know, bear in mind. But they do sell this in both the larger size and the travel size, as I mentioned. So if you don't want to commit to a whole one, you could get like the mini. They're always like up near the front at Sephora, or you can ask someone. But I love this mask, and I just think it's really, really special. And I just find that sometimes with masks, you can kind of, if your skin's already kind of in a weird place, you can kind of use products and irritate it. And this one just always seems to leave my skin in a way better place, which is what you want. So, all right, you guys, I think that is going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. As I said, links to further description of the products and links to purchase, all that stuff will be in the description box below. It's gonna all be in the blog post for this video. I think that's how I'm gonna do it now, is just have a blog post on my blog with all the links, instead of having to put it, just everything in the description box. I feel like it's better. So let me know if you guys like that or not, or if you would just rather have it in the description box. I can always do both, but I'm gonna try it out like that for now. I just want the content to feel really well curated for you guys, if that makes sense. So that's how I'm doing it. But I definitely want to do more skincare videos in the future because I just want to leave you guys, you know, really educated to make your own decisions and, you know, feel empowered as consumers to find products that actually really work for you and give you good value for your money and, you know, are sourced well. And, you know, there's just so many factors and it can be so overwhelming. So I kind of just want to make it simple for you guys and build that trust so that you know that anything I recommend, I've really done the research on, so you guys know that these products not only like deliver as their promise, but also that they're ethical brands or, and also really like formulated by people who really understand skincare and all those kinds of things. So anyways, thank you so much for watching, you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.